Hello and welcome to Reroll. My name is Angus Morrison and Nidhogg is a game where you duel your way past a recalcitrant foe for the honour of being eaten by Nidhogg, the great worm that gnaws at the roots of the world tree. Obviously. Starting in the centre of each linear map, the goal is to push steadily forward against your opponent travelling in the opposite direction. Swords cross, limbs fly, the battle begins anew. Imagine you've engaged in a tug of war, but every few seconds someone throws a sword at your face. That's Nidhogg. Only sometimes you put a sword through your own face too. There's no downtime. Every time you fall you pop straight back up a little way down the track, so the action is relentless. And it's a smart decision. Lengthy respawns would have made stupid slip-ups a bitter pill to swallow. But no, take a moment to celebrate a lucky evisceration and they'll be on you again, pressing you back in a heated dance of steel and neon blood. Because you'll have noticed the artwork by now, and if anyone cares to venture a description, be my guest. The closest I've come is imagining being high while watching VHS of the Tate Modern. You'll giggle like a stoner. The psychotic backgrounds have no business being slapped on a fencing sim, but it really works. The absurdity of the situation takes what might otherwise be somber swordplay from the Game Boy era and makes it trippy as hell. The soundtrack shares the credit. It's a phenomenal piece of work by Daedalus that makes me feel like I'm lost at a circus, or a bangin' Renaissance fair. It's at once perfectly matched to the game and music I would happily buy on its own, which is no easy thing to achieve. All of this is excellent, or rather, it's an excellent concept, a core mechanic which hasn't found a home in a full game. What I've just described is the full extent of Nidhogg, not just the premise, but the fine detail too. Pushing and chasing your opponent up and down a linear path is the game. Single player is a score-chasing gauntlet in which you compete to defeat 16 swordsmen as fast as possible. But because this is a tug of war and there is no time limit, one bout can technically last forever. You might tear through to finish the map in seconds, or you could slip on the last screen and be beaten back to home turf times beyond count. The first of the 16 games took me 20 minutes, the second 15, and if I kept going at that rate I'd be there repeating the same task for 4 hours. And you may well think, 4 hours is actually very short for a game. You can't save. Exiting the game wipes your time and any progress you might have made through the gauntlet. You must defeat all 16 in one sitting to be awarded a score. It could take you an hour, it could take until the end of time. I have no problem admitting that the AI is much better than me. I am bad at Nidhogg, but the difficulty isn't the problem. The problem is that there's no incentive to get better. I could work and work at defeating this swordsman until he finally falls, but where's the payoff? I'm immediately presented with a new, harder foe doing the same thing on a reskinned map. Why would I want to progress? Multiplayer strikes truer. Bring a friend along and you will cry with laughter as your hatred of them slowly grows. Ooh.
Oh, come on!
I don't know where. Oh, what? No. Of course, the premise is the same and it quickly grows stale, but Nidhogg is at its best with friends. Or it would be if it worked. And that brings me to what appears a somewhat blasé attitude to bugs by developers Meshoff. And I say this tentatively because I'm playing a press build available 2 days before release, so these problems might be fixed by the time you hear this, but they're serious enough to warrant a mention. Matchmaking barely works. Joining a game with a friend had us develop an intricate system of setting up and quitting games to get invites to register, and at no point could we get custom settings to take effect. Indeed, the opening screen declares, "Achievements not finished, online invites kind of working." It's not the only problem, and at present I can't convince Nidhogg to save any of my key bindings, which is a real pity, because I found it plays much better on keyboard than controller, where shifting your sword down often results in a somersault. All in all, it begs the question, why is this being released? No game escapes bugs, but known issues of this scale should not be shipped. Nidhogg makes a wonderful proof of concept for a riotous game with trippy visuals and a top-rate soundtrack, but its potential should have been explored more fully.